There exists a category of beings in this world. Seen by a few. Never officially confirmed. Never recognized by science. We call them UMA, unidentified mysterious animals. Welcome to the UMA series. Today, we are diving into one of Britain's most chilling and unexplained encounters. A creature that has haunted a small Cornish village for decades. The Owlman. In ancient Chinese, the word xiao referred to owl-type birds. So, xiao ren, the Owlman, translates literally as owl person. And the description matches exactly what that name suggests. A humanoid creature. An owl's skull for a head. Pointed ears. Enormous red eyes. A body standing between 5 and 7 feet tall. And wings. Large, powerful wings. When it takes flight, witnesses have reported seeing massive black-tipped claws extending beneath it. This is not a legend from ancient times. This creature was first sighted in 1976. And here is the first thing you need to understand about that year. 1976 in Britain was already strange before the Owlman appeared. That same year, there were multiple Owlman sightings in Cornwall. Photographs of a sea creature were taken at Parsons Beach. UFO sightings were reported across North Wales. And 1976 was the hottest year Britain had recorded in over 300 years, a devastating heatwave that scorched the entire country. Something about that year felt different. Like the boundaries between the known and unknown had become thinner than usual. And in the small village of Owlman in Cornwall, those boundaries collapsed entirely. It started with a father and his 2 daughters. A man took his children to play near the woods surrounding the local church. What they saw stopped them cold. A massive winged creature. Circling the top of the church tower. Hovering. Watching. His 12-year-old daughter, still shaken, sat down afterward and drew what she had seen from memory. The sketch showed something that did not look like any bird anyone recognized. The lower body was long and proportioned like a human. The body structure was wrong for a bird, too upright, too humanoid. It looked like a person with a bird's head attached to a human frame. Skeptics dismissed it immediately. A child's drawing. Probably just a large bird seen from a distance and misidentified. But then July arrived. 2 months later, a 14-year-old girl was camping near the same church with her friend. She heard it before she saw it. A strange hissing sound outside her tent. She turned around. Standing there was a massive male figure. Owl-shaped head. Pointed ears. Red eyes. It looked directly at them. Then it spread its wings and flew away into the darkness. Researchers later asked both girls, the 12-year-old from the first sighting and the 14-year-old from this one, to independently draw what they had seen. They had never met. They had never compared notes. Their drawings matched. The 14-year-old looked at the sketch the younger girl had made 2 months earlier and said it was already accurate enough. She had nothing significant to add. The sightings did not stop there. In June and August of 1978, 2 more encounters were reported near the same church in Owlman. Different witnesses. Different times. Same description. Something kept coming back to that church. And nobody could explain why. So what was the Owlman? There are several theories, and none of them fully close the case. Theory 1, a large bird of prey. British cryptozoologist Carl Schucker has argued that what witnesses saw was most likely an eagle owl. The largest owl species currently known, with a body length exceeding 80 centimeters. Powerful enough to inspire genuine fear. Capable of appearing enormous in low light conditions. A late 1980s sighting described the creature as approximately 4 feet tall, with 2 large toes at the front of each foot, and a habit of crouching before taking flight. Schucker noted this behavior is consistent with a very large owl preparing to launch itself into the air. And there is a known population of eagle owls living in North Yorkshire. Researchers have confirmed that this species is fully capable of crossing the English Channel and migrating south to Cornwall. But even eagle owls fall short of the descriptions. 5 to 7 feet tall. Red eyes. A humanoid body structure. The size gap between the largest known owl and what witnesses reported is significant. Theory 2, a deliberate hoax. Every major Owlman sighting from the 1970s is connected in some way to a man named Tony Shields, a self-described paranormal researcher with a well-documented reputation for staging elaborate hoaxes and theatrical stunts. Some researchers believe the Owlman was entirely Shields' invention. A creature he fabricated and then carefully seeded into public consciousness through staged encounters and manipulated witnesses. In 1985, paranormal researchers Janet and Colin Board published a book called Alien Animals, in which they argued that Monon Church had been built directly on top of an ancient sacred site, and that the Owlman's appearances were a form of supernatural manifestation connected to that location. But by 1989, in their follow-up work The World's Greatest Modern Mysteries, they reversed that position entirely. They concluded the creature was most likely an escaped large bird, and implied that Shields had been responsible for manufacturing the legend. Theory 3, something still unexplained. Here is where it gets complicated. Sightings of the Owlman were reported in both 1989 and 1995. Neither of those encounters had any connection to Tony Shields. If Shields created the Owlman, who or what was being seen in those later years? Those witnesses had no obvious motive to lie. No connection to the original controversy. No reason to fabricate an encounter with a creature most people had never heard of. There is one more detail worth noting. In every recorded Owlman sighting across nearly 2 decades, not a single person was attacked. Not a single animal was harmed. No one ever reported direct contact or communication with the creature. It appeared. It watched. It flew away. That pattern, observation without aggression, makes it difficult to classify the Owlman within any known predatory species. Large birds of prey do not typically hover and watch humans without eventually acting on instinct. Whatever this was, it seemed aware of the people watching it. And it chose, every single time, to simply leave. The Owlman has lived on in internet culture and fiction long after those original sightings faded. The 2013 film Lord of Tears featured an Owlman figure that became widely recognized internationally, later popularized further by the Hex Studios channel on YouTube. But behind the memes and the movie adaptations, the original case remains unresolved. The evidence points most likely toward a large unknown bird, possibly an eagle owl or a related species not yet formally catalogued in Britain. But the size discrepancy, the humanoid proportions, the consistent red eyes across multiple independent witnesses, and the sightings that occurred without any connection to known hoaxers, none of that has ever been fully explained. The unknown is always larger than the known. That is the power of UMA. That is why these cases matter. Something circled above Monon Church in 1976. Something with wings and red eyes and a body that looked too human to be a bird. 2 girls drew the same creature from memory without ever speaking to each other. And whatever it was, it kept coming back.